Hello everyone. Today I'm going to present you a tutorial on topic pericardium. In this video we are going to cover introduction, subdivision, pericardial cavity, contents of pericardium and its neurovasculature. So let's start. So your pericardium is a fibroserous sac. Fibroserous means that it is a serous membrane around which fibrous tissues are present. It is a serous membrane which is supported by fibrous connective tissue. It encloses heart and root of great blood vessels. So in this picture you can see this is your heart and around which your pericardium is present. It lies in your middle mediastinum. We already discussed the contents of mediastinum. Anteriorly, there is body of the sternum. Anteriorly to the pericardium, we have sternum. So this is your sternum. And second to sixth costal cartilages. So the costal cartilage connects your ribs to the sternum. So anterior to the pericardium, we have body of the sternum and second to sixth costal cartilages. Then we have posteriorly T5 to T8 thoracic vertebra. So you can see in this picture posteriorly we have T5 to T8 thoracic vertebra. Coming to the functions of your pericardium, it restricts the excessive movements of the heart. Secondly, it serves as a lubricated container. Your heart relaxes and contracts during pumping of your blood. So, the pericardium surrounding the heart, it is acting as a lubricated container so that heart can relax and contract smoothly. Then thirdly, it limits the cardiac distension. What is distension? Distension is expanding, right? Or simply we can say it is ballooning. So it limits your cardiac distension. So your pericardium is a fibroserous tissue, right? I already told you. It means that it has a serous membrane which is supported by a fibrous tissue, right? So your pericardium is made up of two layers. Outermost layer is your fibrous layer. In this picture you can see the structure in green is your fibrous pericardium, right? And then innermost layer is your serous layer, which in return is made up of two layers, that is parietal layer and a visceral layer. So the outermost layer, fibrous pericardium. On the inner aspect of your fibrous pericardium, there lies the parietal layer of your serous pericardium. The parietal layer of serous pericardium. The fibrous layer is a single layer structure and it is consisting of a fibrous sac. Your visceral layer, as the name suggests, visceral. It means that it is enclosing a viscera. So your visceral layer of your serous pericardium is present all around your heart. The outermost layer is your fibrous layer. Then we have a parietal layer. Parietal layer is present on the inner aspect of your fibrous pericardium and the visceral layer is present all around your heart. There is a cavity that is known as pericardial cavity that is present between the parietal layer of your serous pericardium and the visceral layer of the serous pericardium. We'll discuss pericardial cavity in the next slide. So let's discuss about the fibrous pericardium in little bit. So your fibrous pericardium is a strong fibrous sac, right? A strong fibrous sac which supports the delicate parietal layer of your serous pericardium. So what does that mean? So your fibrous pericardium is your outermost layer, right? It is a single layered structure, right? It is made up of a strong fibrous sac. And inside on the inner aspect of your fibrous pericardium, there lies a parietal layer of the serous pericardium. So your fibrous pericardium is actually supporting the parietal layer of your serous pericardium, right? The parietal layer is a little bit adherent to the fibrous pericardium, and that's why in return your fibrous pericardium is supporting it. So what are the features of a fibrous pericardium? So fibrous pericardium is basically conical in shape, right? It is something like this. It is conical in shape. So this is the base. The base lies on the diaphragm, right? And it is fused with the central tendon of your diaphragm. So this is your central tendon, and the base is fused with the central tendon. Central tendon is a trifoliate structure present in the diaphragm, and this is your apex, right? This is a blunt apex. This is blunt. This you can see this is not very sharp. So pericardium has a blunt apex and a broad base which is fused with the central tendon of your diaphragm. So from the apex of your heart there lies the root of great blood vessels. Some great blood vessels like your aorta, your superior vena cava, your inferior vena cava, they arises from your apex, right? So your apex, it is the outermost layer of your apex is fused with the root of great blood vessels, and it is conical in shape, right? Coming to the serous pericardium. Serous pericardium is of two types, parietal and visceral. Visceral pericardium is also known as epicardium. So your parietal pericardium, as I already told you, it is present on the inner aspect of your fibrous pericardium. That's why it is adherent to fibrous pericardium, right? Fibrous pericardium is supporting it. Your visceral pericardium, it is adherent to your myocardium of the heart, right? That is, your visceral pericardium is surrounding your heart, it is enclosing the heart. Parietal pericardium develops from a somatoluric mesoderm. Somatoluric is more of an embryological term, so I'm not going in detail right now. You can refer to embryology videos for that. It develops from splanchnolyric mesoderm. Visceral pericardium develops from splanchnolyric mesoderm. Your parietal pericardium is supplied by somatic nerve fibers, and visceral is supplied by autonomic. So you already know from your knowledge of general anatomy that autonomic nervous system innervates your viscera, right? So your visceral pericardium is innervated by autonomic nervous system. So your parietal pericardium is sensitive to pain. It is the region where pericarditis develops first, is sensed first, right? We'll discuss pericarditis in clinical anatomy portion. So visceral pericardium is insensitive to pain, right? So this was all about the fibrous and serous pericardium, right? Coming to your pericardial cavity. Pericardial cavity was a cavity that was present between the parietal layer of your serous membrane and your visceral layer of your serous membrane, right? So pericardial cavity consists of 50 milliliters of serous fluid, and it helps in lubricating the opposite surfaces of the heart, right? So what is the main function of your pericardial cavity? It is present between your parietal and visceral layer of your serous membrane, right? It consists of a 50 milliliters serous fluid that is acting as a lubrication for the opposite surfaces of your heart, right? It basically lubricates the opposite surfaces of the heart. So coming to the contents of a pericardium, the most obvious and the most common content of a pericardium is your heart, right? And obviously the vessels, that is your superior vena cava, your aorta, the root of the great blood vessels, right? Then we have ascending aorta. The root of the great blood vessels include your ascending aorta, your pulmonary trunk, the lower half of superior vena cava. Why only lower half? Because the upper half of your lower vena cava is present in your superior mediastinum, and pericardium is a part of your middle mediastinum. Then inferior vena cava and pulmonary veins. So these were the contents of your pericardium. Guys, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and if you have any queries, let me know in the comment section below. So this is the last slide of this video. In this slide, we are going to discuss the neurovasculature of your pericardium. So first is the arterial supply, right? So your fibrous pericardium and the parietal layer, right? The fibrous pericardium and the parietal layer of your serous membrane. These both layers are supplied by internal thoracic artery. Internal thoracic artery, your mammary gland artery, which supplies your mammary gland and anterior chest wall. So your fibrous pericardium and the parietal layer is supplied by internal thoracic artery. Musculophrenic arteries. Musculophrenic arteries, these are also branches of your internal thoracic artery. Then descending thoracic aorta, right? So the visceral layer of your serous pericardium is supplied by coronary arteries. So your coronary arteries supply blood to your heart muscles, right? Coming to the nerve supply of pericardium, the fibrous pericardium and the parietal layer of the serous pericardium, these both are supplied by your phrenic nerves. Phrenic nerves provide motor innervation to your diaphragm. And the visceral layer of the serous pericardium, it is supplied by sympathetic trunk, branches of sympathetic trunk and vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is your 10th cranial nerve. And pain of your pericarditis. Pericarditis. What is meant by pericarditis? Whenever there's a word itis, it means inflammation. So pericarditis is inflammation of your pericardium. So pain of pericarditis, that is inflammation of the pericardium, first originate from your parietal pericardium. As we saw earlier that your parietal pericardium is sensitive to pain and your visceral layer of your serous pericardium is insensitive to pain. So with this we end this video. We'll cover the sinus of the pericardium and the clinical anatomy in second part of this topic.